Today, we're diving into a really cool breakthrough in AI training. We're talking about a new way to teach AI not just how to think, but how to actually do things. And the secret? Well, it all comes down to something called a digital gym. So let's start with something you've probably noticed. You've got this super powerful AI right in your pocket, but when you ask it to do something kind of complex, like, hey, cancel my flight and then find me the next train ticket, it just can't. It falls flat. So why can't these brilliant tools handle what seem like pretty basic digital chores? The answer is surprisingly simple. They just don't have a good place to practice. Think about it. Just like a human learning a new skill, an AI needs a safe space where it can try stuff out, make mistakes, and learn from them without, causing total chaos in the real world. And that really gets to the core of AI's biggest training problem. The real thing holding our AI assistants back isn't a lack of brain power. No, it's the fact that they don't have a good place to work out. There's a huge shortage of diverse, reliable training grounds for them. I mean, look at the current options. They just don't work. Using real websites to practice, way too risky and super expensive. Having humans build little practice worlds, that's way too slow, and you don't get much variety. And what about using another AI to simulate a world? Well, that's really unreliable because the AI can just hallucinate or make stuff up. Plus, it costs a fortune. So what's the solution? Well, some researchers have come up with a brilliant new system. Instead of trying to build these little one-off training spots, they figured out how to generate an entire universe of these digital gyms. It's called the Agent World Model, or AWM for short. The whole idea behind AWM is that it's a pipeline. Think of it like an automated factory that can churn out a virtually infinite number of totally reliable practice worlds. It's a place where AI agents can train safely and super efficiently. Now here's the secret sauce. These are code-driven environments. This isn't just text-based pretend. Each digital gym is a real little mini application with its own executable code and its own database. So when an AI tries an action, the world changes in a predictable, consistent way, just like real software does. And when you put them side by side, the difference is just crystal clear. The old way, using LLMs to simulate worlds, is totally unreliable. But AWM's code-driven worlds, they're rock solid because they're backed by an actual database. It's really the difference between just talking about working out and actually being in a gym lifting real weights. Okay, so how does this factory actually work? How do you build one of these AI gyms from the ground up? Well, it all follows a very systematic 5-step blueprint. Okay, so first it starts with a scenario, a big idea like an online shopping website. Second, it creates specific tasks inside that world, something like cancel a customer's order. Third, it designs the entire database needed to make those tasks possible. Fourth, it generates the interface. That's the actual code for the tools the AI gets to use. And finally, it builds a verification system, which is how you reward the AI for actually getting the job done right. This diagram really shows you the whole thing in action. You can see the entire factory, right? It takes a simple idea on the left, and step by step, it builds it out into a complete, ready-to-go training environment on the right, all set for an AI to come in and start its workout. And the result of this whole automated pipeline, the scale is just incredible. The system was able to generate 1,000 completely unique training scenarios. That is a massive, massive leap from the handful of environments that we had before this. And it's not just about the number, it's the variety. These generated worlds cover pretty much every part of our digital lives. We're talking social media, finance, e-commerce, travel, you name it. And that diversity is absolutely crucial if you want to train an AI that can handle anything you throw at it. The reason every single one of these worlds is so reliable comes down to two things. First, there's a database that acts as the unbreakable rulebook, the single source of truth. And second, there's a code-based interface that defines the only moves the AI is allowed to make. This creates a perfect, predictable sandbox. No confusion, no hallucinations. All right, this all sounds amazing in theory, but it brings up the most important question of all, right? Does practicing in these synthetic digital gyms actually make an AI any better at doing stuff in the real world? To figure that out, the researchers ran a really strict experiment. They took some AI agents and trained them only inside these synthetic AWM worlds. That's it. Then, once the training was done, they took those same AIs and tested them on standard, real-world benchmarks to see if the skills actually transferred over. And the result? A huge success. In the researchers' own words, training exclusively in these synthetic environments leads to strong out-of-distribution generalization. Now, in plain English, that just means that what the AI learned in the gym worked perfectly out in the real world. And the numbers? Well, they tell a pretty powerful story. A standard AI model, right out of the box, scores around 54. An agent trained in those old simulated worlds, it actually does a little worse. But the agent that trained in the AWM gyms, whoa, it shoots up to a score of almost 66. That is a massive improvement in real-world skill, all learned inside the gym. And just to put this into perspective, right? Before, the best methods gave us maybe 3, or if we were lucky, 191 training environments. AWM delivered 1,000. And, just as important, it did it with a much more solid and consistent database foundation, making sure every single practice rep the AI did was on solid ground. And if you really want to appreciate how rich this training is, get a load of this number. Across all 1,000 of those worlds, the pipeline automatically generated over 35,000 unique tools and functions for the AI agents to learn. That's an absolutely incredible vocabulary of digital actions. So let's pull all this together. What's the big picture here? Why does building a better gym for AI actually matter for the future? Why should we care? So here are the key things to remember. The biggest roadblock for smarter AI has been a lack of practice space. The agent world model completely solves that by creating a factory for these digital gyms. And crucially, we now know for a fact that the gym practice works. Those skills transfer directly to the real world. This just opens up a new, way more efficient path to truly capable AI. Look, the really important point here is that this isn't just some clever little research project. This is a fundamental building block for what comes next. It's a huge step toward creating those general-purpose AI agents we've all been waiting for, ones that can actually, reliably, help us with all the complex stuff we do online every day. Which leaves us with one last, really exciting question to think about. Now that we have a way for an AI to safely practice pretty much any digital task you can imagine, over and over and over until it's perfect, what's the very first thing we should teach it to do?